Mark, thank you. There's a lot of information there, 41 services in terms of how important they are and how satisfied we are.
A lot of information. The really pleasing thing is that you are equal to or above our norms on all 41 or all 38 where we can actually directly compare you. That's an astounding result.
Fantastic. Now, it's given us some areas too that we can improve and lift further, so that's really helpful information too. But I think also you've indicated that there are some common factors that sit underneath them that would be worth paying attention to.
That's right, because you can look at your results and say, should we focus over the next 12 months, 2 years on what we're good at or what we're not good at? And it's more than that. So we have to do a regression analysis to try and understand the underlying drivers of satisfaction.
Fantastic, and I think you're going to make regression analysis simple for us.
I'm going to try. Thanks, Deborah. So, where do we focus our energy? On that maintain quadrant where you're doing really well, or on the improve quadrant where relatively low satisfaction given the high importance? The way to answer that is to step back and say, what are we trying to achieve? And in essence, you've got one dependent variable, which is overall satisfaction with council. That's the holy grail. That's what you're trying to affect change on. And you've got 41 services and facilities, and we ask about satisfaction and importance, but I'm going to focus on satisfaction with those 41 services and facilities. Let's imagine when I interview my first respondent, and say metric 1 is footpaths. And so the first respondent says, I love the footpaths and I love council. And the second respondent says, I'm not happy with the footpaths and I'm not happy with council. If I keep getting that combination of responses, footpaths are good, council is good. Footpaths are poor, council is poor. If I keep getting that when I'm interviewing residents, I will soon get a sense that footpaths are a driver of satisfaction with council. Metric 2, on the other hand, might be, I don't know, libraries. And let's imagine the first respondent says, oh, libraries are great, council is great. But the second person says, libraries are not that good, but council is great. If I keep getting that pattern, which in effect is no pattern at all, it's just all messed up, I can pretty well say metric 2, libraries, isn't a driver of satisfaction. And so that's what we're looking for. And unfortunately, it's not easy because you've got to look at each of the 41 services and facilities by each of the 604 respondents and how they answered the overall satisfaction. So there's tens of thousands of data points. So we use regression analysis. And this is the output or partial output of the regression analysis. This chart goes all the way down to the floor. It has all 41 services and facilities. And each of the scores there give a sense of the contribution of that service or facility to overall satisfaction. The higher the percentage, the more likely it is to be contributing to overall satisfaction. So like I say, this chart goes all the way down. There are percentages down here, 0.1%, 0.2, 0.3. You cannot turn your back on any one of these services and facilities. Council has an obligation to do all of these. But which ones are most likely to affect change? And it is these ones that have come up to the top. And I just want to again highlight some themes because I'm always looking for what percolates up to the top. The first one here, maintenance of street trees, waste and recycling collection services, mall cleaning, attractive streetscapes. 4 attributes that have all percolated to the top in terms of being drivers of overall satisfaction. It's as if residents, and we know that 1, quality of life is good, 2, their satisfaction with council is good. So what they're saying is, let's just make sure the area stays clean and so on. So maintenance and cleanliness. Another theme that comes out, leadership and advocacy in the Willoughby Council area, financial management and long-term planning. So governance has come to the top. Again, out of 41 attributes, they've all come to the top. Those 3 governance issues. And here's another 2. keeping the community informed, and council providing quality customer service. So all about engagement, either engagement on a transactional basis or simply communicating and keeping the community informed. And you can see there that that accounts for 15% of the variance in overall satisfaction. So they're the key themes that are driving satisfaction. You must remember that everything is important, but these levers are perhaps the ones that you can use for affecting change, because these are the ones that are most likely to be drivers of satisfaction. As an aside, there was another one there, maintenance of assets, such as community centres, libraries and so on, which is an interesting one, that it's come up on its own there as well. Now, what we've done is we're still looking at that regression analysis. Down the bottom here it says derived importance. That's the regression result. So for instance, maintenance of street trees I think was at 9.1, which is why it's all the way over to the right hand side of the chart. So the horizontal axis is the regression analysis result. But going up the vertical axis is satisfaction. So what we're saying is, okay, you're telling us on the one hand they're important, but how satisfied were you with them? And what it's showing is, for instance, if you go to the top left, mall cleaning has got, out of this bunch of important attributes, it's one of the lower ones, but it's got really high satisfaction. Whereas if I come across here to the right-hand side, maintenance of street trees is one of the highest, if not the highest, when it comes to derived importance, and its satisfaction's a little bit low. So if I was council, it's relatively low. So if I was council, I would be exploring that further. I would be trying to find out what's going on in that area. We did some analysis earlier of street trees and so on, you might remember, by ward, so we could explore that further. So one more thing I want to do on this regression analysis. This is based on 41 services and facilities where we asked importance and satisfaction. But there was one other service or facility that we asked about that wasn't part of the 41, but it had exactly the same satisfaction question, so we can put it into the mix. And that question was right up the top there. So this is a regression analysis. It's the same as the slide 2 earlier, except we've added now a 40-second attribute, and that is satisfaction with the level of communication council has with the community. On its own, it accounts for 28% of the variance in overall satisfaction. So clearly what's going on here, and you can see that the other one circled, council providing quality customer service, 4.7, keeping the community informed, 4.3. I think they were 7.3 or 7.5 or something on the 2 slides earlier. They've dropped a little bit here because you've got so much of the variance being explained by question 10, the satisfaction one right up the top. So you can see just how important engagement is with the community as a driver. Let me just stress here, a regression score on a chart like this is not a satisfaction score. It's not telling you whether you're doing a good job or a bad job. It's telling you whether it's likely to be a driver of satisfaction. So that's worth remembering.